Hello, good evening. It is like 1 in the morning at night, and I can't really sleep, so I decided to get up, sip some coffee, and I'm about to tell the story time about this bus driver. Well, this metro bus driver. Now, I told this story maybe 3 years ago, and when I told this story 3 years ago, I didn't tell it on camera. I told it off camera, so I'm telling it on camera now. So one day, it was like, I'm gonna say Saturday. I left my boyfriend's house. Now, at the time, I was dating the same dude who I talked about in previous story times. The one who broke up with me over the phone. The guy who was dating. He broke up with me for a girl who was basically being his sugar mama. Now, this girl was disabled, slow in the head, giving him things, giving him money and buying him gifts and stuff. But I told that story several times, but I was in a relationship with him at the time. This was before he met her, so I was leaving his house. I came over to his house Friday night. We stayed up all night drinking margaritas and watching TV. And yes, this is the same dude who I said I came to his house one weekend to spend the weekend with him. And he and I got drunk off of margaritas. And after I dozed off and went to sleep, this is the same dude who went in his kitchen because he thought I was so sound asleep. I was faking the whole time. Went in his kitchen, opened his oven, and got a Domino's pizza out and was eating on it. Then every once in a while, he would look in the living room at me because I was laid out on the air mattress, dozed off. I digress. Like, I've told that story too. Now, I was kind of embarrassed to tell it, but it's in the past. It was what it was. I don't care anymore. So, anyway, I leave his house because, I didn't want to spend the whole weekend with him. I came to his house on Friday, spent the night, but then I left the very next day because I think it was the same situation. He never had any food in his refrigerator. It was crazy. Okay, so I left his house and I got on the bus. I get on the Metro bus to go home. This Metro bus driver, okay, I had to sit up front because the Metro bus was packed. And this Metro bus driver, who was this fat, out of shape, dark brown skinned man with this large protruded gut, just sloppy and slouchy as hell. He was flirting with me from the moment I got on that bus. He's like, hey, pretty lady. And he starts asking me my business with people who sitting up at the front listening to us talk. He's like, you have a boyfriend? I'm like, yeah. I just came from my boyfriend's house. I spent the night. He's like, well, why are you looking so mean? And what's wrong? You look like you don't feel good. I'm like, yeah, a lot is wrong. I have a headache. He made me mad. And I'm having back pain. And then this Metro bus driver go say, oh, why your back hurt? That means y'all must have been fucking all night. I'm like, I said, if we were doing that all night, why would I admit that to you? And I'm like, I'm tired. I'm just ready to go home. And my boyfriend wanted me to spend the night again, but I didn't want to. So he's like, yeah, but I want to know why your back hurting. He's like, did he have you bent over all night? I'm like, sir, I don't talk about my business, sexcapades or whatever to strangers. He's like, I'm not a stranger. I'd like to be your friend, more than a friend. And he just kept on flirting with me. So when he finally gets on my side of the town, because at first where my ex-boyfriend lived at was in Houston, in this area called Greenspoint. But he drops everybody off. Now, it's 4 people on the bus. He's including me. He drops them off. And the 4th person, he waited. Okay, I had rung the bell for him to let me off the bus. This nigga had said, I'm not letting you off yet. I want to talk to you. I'm like, talk to me about what? I'm tired. I'm ready to go home. He's like, I'm going to drop you off. Just wait. So I'm thinking in my head, because the 4th person, that man lived closer to where I lived at, an older man, and he dropped him off. Then after he dropped him off, he stopped this bus. He stopped the goddamn metro bus near a back street toward a gas station, and he turned off the engine. He said, nah, it come the time for me to talk to you. He gets out of his big old, out of shape, watermelon belly, balloon built shaped ass, get off out of his chair and come and sit next to me. And he's like, what's up? I'm like, what you mean, what's up? I said, why you didn't drop me off and I rung the bell for you to let me off the bus? He's like, cause like I said, what I say goes. I told you I wasn't ready for you to leave yet. I'm gonna drop you off, but we're gonna talk first. I'm like, oh. He's like, yeah. And he's like, you wanna fuck? I'm like, huh? I'm like, dude, no. No, I don't. He's like, well, you've been making eyes at me the whole time. Ever since you got on the bus, you act like you want to fuck, don't you? And I'm like, no, that's probably something you want to do. And I'm like, why would I be a bop? Well, I didn't say a bop. I say, why would I act like a hoe and have some sex with you on this metro bus? He's like, well, other young women that get on my bus and ride the bus and look like you, who's attractive, they do it with me, so I figured you're gonna do it too. I'm like, well, I'm not them. He's like, I'm gonna ask you one more time, do you want to fuck? I said, no, I don't. He's like, why? I told him, because why would I do something with you? And I just told you that I came from my boyfriend's house and I spent the night with him. If I've been, how did I say it? If me and my boyfriend been humping all night, why would I let you, a total stranger, hump me? So he starts laughing. He say, well, I'm going to stop fucking with you. And he gets back and sits his wobbly, fat belly self back in his chair just laughing his ass off to himself. He's like, you scary. I'm like, I ain't scary. It's just the fact that you don't know me and you asking me, do I want to fuck? Just like I'm some type of $2 hoe or something. I was scared out of my mind. I was so scared because I was scared, for one thing, because number one, when I rung the bell for him to let me get off the bus so I can go home, he kept driving. He said, I'm not letting you off the bus yet. And then he gonna stop the bus on the back street and come get out of his chair, come sit by me, and was trying to, like, he acted as if he was gonna rape me in the broad daylight on the Metro bus. And I know it's cameras that be on the Metro bus unless he did something to turn the cameras off, but I don't understand how he did that and he didn't get caught or whatever, because it's always cameras on the bus. So I would never ever forget that. This happened I'm gonna say in 2008. I will never forget it, because this 40-year-old Metro bus driver he was the devil. And after he got done harassing me, asking me do I want to fuck and all this stuff, he's laughing his ass off. And I'm like, I don't really see nothing funny. Please drop me out. Please take me home. So he finally let me off. And then while I was walking off the before I left, when I was leaving off the bus, I turned around and I told him, you have a lot to pay for before you leave this earth. And he gonna laugh at that, but I really meant what I said. I will never ever forget that day. I will never ever forget him and how he looked, because he was so fat to the point where, the damn Metro uniform that he had on, and he can only button up maybe 3 buttons of his shirt, and then his belly was up against the steering wheel and trying to holler at me. No, sir. But I'm about to end this video. There's some other story times I wanted to bring up, similar to the one that I did yesterday about in-laws. But this is a true story also, just like the one I did about in-laws on yesterday. But I'm about to try to lay down and get some rest. And I hope you viewers found this story time interesting. It's a true story. And until then, y'all stay blessed.